comes a time for celebration when you're able to light it and making sure that it goes out right. So when you're doing stuff like that, you know, I don't really deal with pyrotechnics and stuff. You know, I have friends that do that. But it's dangerous. So if you're not being careful during fight week, you're not going to go out there and you're not going to have a good product come Saturday night. So come Saturday night, everything's going to go well, man. There's a lot of things going on in the world. So if we can bring a little bit of entertainment and a little bit of smiles to everything that's going on in the world, that's pretty cool, man. So people like bloodshed, which is cool, but as long as nobody's fucking having, you know, too much of it, I guess that's a good thing. You know what I mean? But like I said, come Saturday night, everybody's fortunate that we have warriors going out there and doing their job. I think we're underpaid, personally. I'm gonna be real, I'm not gonna say it too much. You know what I mean? Dana said something the other day, and I put it on, it's on my phone. I think it was MMA Fighting actually reposted it, talking about how boxers are overpaid. I asked Dana to box. He said, fuck no. I'm like, why? I want to go play, you know, I want to go play baseball. I want to go do other pro sports. I'm an athlete. I grew up playing different different sports at a very high level. I won a state championship football ring right here. We were 27-1. You know, I come from Grand Valley State University as a wrestler. I want to go do, you know, pro wrestling. You know, I got Brock, Uncle Brock, that's right there watching me. I want to go do all these couple things, but then I have this guy right here acting like a fucking drug dealer telling me I can't go and do this shit. I want to go make more money for my family. And I'm watching Embedded, and I see what Brian T. City, and I see his agent up there, and he's like, oh, and he was funny because he made a joke where he was like, huh, you're making money now. And he talked about his agent, and he's like, where you getting your... There's too many levels of things right here where I got pissed off at, and I had to kind of put that beside me. You know, you make your money by winning. You make your money by showing up, winning, and having good performances. Where now I guess we're getting paid crypto, I guess, huh? You know, they're following everybody's suit. They're kind of waiting for everybody to speak up. They're waiting for everything else like that. I'm waiting for insurance. I've been competing in this sport for a long time. I took a bad fall at Fox. They took my title from me. You know, I don't even have to go into the Miller-Ayala Act, where an agent is not supposed to be competing in the same sport as you. But you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So I mean, when it comes down to that, and then I'm gonna get stripped of my title because I fucking took a bad fall and accident, I should have sued. But what I did is I felt good for my company. I wanted to be the man. I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that I fucking could do this stuff without anybody else's help. So that's a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, you know what I mean? To kind of keep coming here and smiling and being used to be on a poster and to have that high value. When I saw that UFC didn't think my value was that high, I had increased it in other ways, which was through social media. And through social media, I did it really organic. I didn't pay for anything. I went through there and I had fun and it showed my plants, and overnight I made 1 million followers. And even overnight again made like another 2. Then I stopped. I stopped caring about it because I was just like, you know what, why am I doing all of this? It's not gonna do anything for me. But then I realized I was getting these emails from these people from all over the world saying that I saved their life, that they didn't want to kill themselves, that they found themselves in bad territories, that they didn't, and I'm not the only one. I guarantee you there's a lot of fighters that get these emails. But it's incredible. And so all those guys that are out there watching and listening, and you kind of hear me getting pissed off all the time, it's cool, it's fun, I'm all right, okay, we're gonna be okay. You know, it's okay to get mad once in a while, but you have to channel that shit in the right way. When you channel in the right way, good things happen. You win championships, you go out there and you have victories, and then you end up building your fan base, so.
I mean, I just wanted to follow up on it. I mean, do you feel like you're being stifled? Like, it feels like you're almost kind of over it, but maybe conflicted about that?
Nah, like I said, I had a nice 1.5 years to think about everything. Kind of like being put on restriction a little bit. You know what I mean? Just kind of had time to sit there and just kind of thinking what I wanted to do. During the time I shouldn't have fought, I was injured. You know, when after that Gaethje fight, I broke my toe. I didn't even know I broke my foot. And I was so injured on my legs, I didn't even want to go down. I didn't get knocked down. I kept fighting through that. I thought about Jesus, man, carrying the fucking cross, and that dude would not quit. Every single time that they would beat him down, he would get back up and he would keep moving forward. I was thinking that whole entire time when Charles had my arm out like that, I was like, he didn't tap. And I remember my kid, he had his arm hyperextended. You know, one time I was like, hey, well, careful, you know. I was like, you don't want to hurt yourself, but he's naturally like this. So when I'm in the fight, I'm thinking about my son. I'm thinking about my arm. I'm like, go ahead, break the fucker. I was like, so I'm gonna beat you with it. And in the third fight with Derry Hughes, it was the same way. These were all tests and mental battles that I went through because I wasn't ready to win yet. I wasn't ready to have a championship belt. I wasn't mentally there yet. I had, I redid my house and I had to build another spot so I could think of things that I wanted to do and accomplish. In high school, there was these guys at all state on the wall. And I was like, walk through there, man, I want to be one of those guys. Do that, all state, win state, get to college. Hey, get called in and I see these names on the wall for national champions, All-American. Huh, I want to do that. That looks really cool. I go do that. 2-time All-American national champion. Captain of a 2-time national championship team. And I was like, okay, what's the next step? Go to the UFC. They built a performance institute. They built that. They saw that we needed something like that, which is great. Then they put the things up on the wall and said Hall of Fame. I said I wanted to do that. What did I do? Still not in the Hall of Fame yet, but I'm meriting my credentials, right? I think I'm pretty much in there. So I had to kind of think again. And I was like, I got a belt, an interim belt. And then they wanted me for a fight for another interim belt. I was like, well, I already have one of those. It's kind of selfish for me to not just have one. I don't want 2 interim belts. I have one, but it's a championship belt because to the stuff it should have went. Like I don't have to go back on another Ayala, but I will. And then I had to think about it again. I saw the new belt and I was like, got treated like shit for a long time. Kind of don't really want it. It was like a Cracker Jacks prize. Kind of like, well, looks kind of fake to me. It wasn't the classy kind of shit. But then I had to readjust my thinking. I had to build something so that way I had space on my shelf to be able to put something new. So that's what I have. I have space on my shelf, and I looked at it a couple of days and walked past it, look at it again, and I looked and man, there's empty there. Because I need something to be put there. I was like, it'd be kind of nice to put a belt right there. And I started kind of getting hungry again, kind of figuring it out, putting things together like a puzzle. And it started and it clicked. So I'm a straight shooter now, man, and everything's pretty cool. So this camp, I'm very fortunate to be able to put things together and structure the shit out of myself. In my other interview, I said that I had too many main ideas. But it's good to multitask like that, because I can multitask on 3 computers, like no problem. But to be able to write a central paper and put one central idea as a main heading and be able to write everything around that, that was a hard part. So I have that now. I put that that structure towards where I need it to go, and I want that belt. It's kind of cool, and I want to add some rubies to it. So it is my prerogative, and it is my priority to go out there and make sure my hand gets raised on Saturday.
Just one more. With all this said, is this where you want to be long term? I mean, you talk about...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
How many more fights do you have on your contract?
I'm not sure, you know what I mean? They wanted to extend my contract after this one. They sent me like an extension on my contract, and they signed it. They didn't even know that they sent it to me. I was kind of like, why are you guys making me feel like shit? I was like, I've always been for the company. You know what I mean? I've always done everything. Let me go back to when I was injured. I took the Oliveira fight short notice. I did that because I was like, you know what, they need somebody. I was like, it's kind of cool. The kid's got a lot of talent. I was like, you know what, deserves a shot. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. We practiced zero jiu-jitsu. Zero jiu-jitsu. But when Joe Rogan was talking, it looked like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing yet. I was more active on the bottom than Dustin Poirier, and I didn't hear one fucking word talk about how bad his jiu-jitsu was. So I'm gonna be real, like I said, I had to go back and I had to watch my fight films without that commentary because people listen, they're like sheep. I'm gonna be real, which sometimes, I'm gonna be real, the commentators are talking to them like they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And they're making guys like me sound like I'm an idiot for one, and two, that I'm out there and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I had to kind of take that, and I'm gonna be real, like I said. So, I mean, we're going back and having the fun part about that. Like I said, I'm always going to be here for the company, but will they be here for me?
Tony over here.
When I got injured, hold on, when I got injured, I didn't get a flight home. I got treated the same way. Chris Weidman, he got a personal flight back. I couldn't fucking walk. I couldn't do the same shit. So I'm not sure what the corporate is, you know what I mean, talking about that. But there's some questions to be raised on how they treat their athletes, that's for sure.
Tony, you said they had reached out to re-up your deal. Are you nearing the end of your deal? Like, is this the last fight?
No, I got a bunch, man. I'm gonna be real. I'm willing to be able to fight it out, to go out there and not be held under. Like I said, like I'm gonna be real. Like the promoters here, they act like drug dealers sometimes. You know what I mean? They just throw a couple bucks here and there and be like, come here, kid, come here, kid, come here, kid. Here, take this, take this, take this, take this. And if you don't have the will to say no to that stupid shit, you're gonna get fucked. I mean, I've seen like Terrence McKinney the same fucking way, and a couple other people, you know what I mean? Like, and even for me to go out there, and I had to say no a couple times. You know, I had to fucking ignore Dana's call once during the pandemic. I'm chilling, man. I'm skateboarding. Why? Because you know what? He didn't answer my phone call. It's not going to be about that because I'm having fun. I'm doing something for myself, which is cool. And it took a long time to be able to think about myself like that because the company for a long time, they treated me like shit. You know, and that's a lot of underlying stuff. You know what I mean? So, you know, you talk about event ops, you know, they're trying to, you know, come over here and search for me to sign my fucking contract. I'm like, you guys are sweating bullets, huh? That's how you guys make me feel sometimes. So, it's not fair.
Tony Oliveira, you mentioned going back to your roots and Grand Valley State. You recently brought your former wrestling coach, Dave Mills, back in the mix. What prompted you to start training under Mills again?
I've always trained under Mills, just nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's always been one of those great mentors for me. Give me the chance and the opportunity. Funny story, really quick. As I go out there and I'm bartending, my buddy calls me up. He's like, Tony, we need your help. What are you talking about? He's like, we got a guy named Gitch. You know, he's preparing for a 3-time national champ, 4-time national championship. We'd like you to come in and practice. Dude, I've been smoking cigars, eating hoagies, and drinking. I don't care, Tony. Just come in. You're coming in. All right. I'm like, fuck, man. I've been to Grand Valley and I partied a couple of times. Never been there to compete. I go, I show up. I go there like a student. I park. I had to go through the whole entire thing of finding parking for one. That was crazy. I was like, this is fun. But first I went through the tunnel. Like even here at Arizona State, being here again, it brings me back to college town. And it brings me a good feeling. It brings me back into here where I need to be. I go there and I'm looking through the stuff. I'm like, hey, where's the wrestling room? They're pointing that way and I'm like, man, I'm looking, there's a indoor track and there's basketball, there's like a whole volleyball court, there's like weightlifting equipment, it's like, it's dope. I'm like, this is cool. It's like the Performance Institute. Felt like a real college, university. I go in the wrestling room. Can't even look in the window, it's all fucking fogged. I go in there, I'm all nervous, my heart's racing like crazy. Control yourself. Coach Mills comes up, my buddy Dustin comes up, same thing, he introduced me to the team really quick. I get ready and there's Gitch over there with his fucking hand getting taped. He has a club, like mean son of a bitch. Cool dude too, man, hard fucking worker. And he's preparing for me. And I'm like, oh man, here we go. I go, I lace up my wrestling shoes. I haven't worn them in a long time. I'm sitting there and then we go, we shake hands. I go and hit him with an ankle pick. Pissed him off. Pissed him off. Go out there and I did really well. What do you think I did next? Ran over to the bucket. Puked, I was out of shape. I get back on the mat, we had another match. And I did the best I could. And it was cool, I did really, really well. Helping my partner, my buddy, go out there prepare for his national championship. Didn't know him at the time, but I made a best friend right there. A couple months go by, and afterwards, you know, I said, thank you guys. And I was kind of embarrassed that I went and I puked in the thing, but I got back after it. I went and started running. It was the opportunity, is what gave me that mental clarity to be able to do that. And I get a phone call from Coach Dave Mills. Hey, Tony, Dave Mills here, Grand Valley State University. We'd like you to, he was talking to me, and he said, opportunity came up. We'd love for you to come and wrestle for us. Holy shit. Blessing. Opportunities exist when we create them. And that was one of the best things in my life that changed it. So I've known Coach Mills for probably about 14, 15 years. Man, great mentor, man. Fucking awesome. So I'm glad for that, and shout out to Coach Mills.
Just one from me, sorry Tony. Go and just quickly go.
Write a book up here.
Just want to ask, having fought Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje within the last couple of years, I was wanting to get your prediction on that fight and how you see it going.
The boys are going to bring it. I think they've gotten better each time, which is cool. They got great coaching staff, which is excellent. You know, I can't talk about theirs too much because I have a great coaching staff as well. You have to bring in the right people at the right time to be able to do the right things. You know, and sometimes the chemistry doesn't work. Sometimes it does. You know, over at their camp with Trevor Whitman, they have very good chemistry. They had a solid team. Same thing with Oliveira at Shoot the Box. They have a very solid team. They have a lot of people they can spar with. Very cool. I moved to Orange County with Rain Training Center, and when that disappeared, it kind of left me in the open, and I had to kind of find myself in my own spot. So with them, in the regards to where they're fighting, it's not my concern, man. I'm gonna be real, I don't give a fuck. So hopefully they go out there and have a good fight and not a boring one, so everybody's buying this pay-per-view. So make sure you guys don't stream that shit. We'll find you.
Appreciate your honesty.
Go ahead, man.
Thank you.